Today we travel south of Israel to the magnificent country of Egypt to talk about the pyramids. I hope you can join us. Shalom, it is a pleasure to have you with us. Thanks for joining us today. We are all about teaching the Bible in the context of the land of Israel. Although today we head south of Israel to the place called Egypt. Everyone has heard of Egypt. Everyone is fascinated by what's there, the huge temples, of course the tombs, and it goes without saying, the pyramids. I think at last count, there are over 110 pyramids now discovered. It seems as if it goes up by a couple every year, but that's quite amazing. But every year, a new pyramid, whether it's in good condition or not so good condition, is discovered, and sometimes even other things associated with pyramids. Of course, they are essentially tombs, but that has led to other discoveries in and around these pyramids newly discovered. But today's video will take us to Sakkara, the Step Pyramid, and of course the Giza pyramids. And these are the main ones, and I'm going to show you these videos of the pyramids, and yet it just doesn't do it justice to just to stand there and look straight up and see how large, how tall, how massive, especially these great pyramids are in Giza. But we're going to do our best to capture that in our video, and I'm glad that you're joining us today. Again, please subscribe to our channel, share this with your friends and family, and certainly we would appreciate that very much. So with that, let's head to Cairo and Sakkara, and specifically Giza, to see the pyramids. Well, today we step out of Israel and we head south to the land of the Egyptians. And of course, Cairo and its surrounding areas is the largest of the cities. It's about 20 million people in population. So we're heading outside of the city of Cairo, first of all to Sakkara and the Old Kingdom pyramids. This was the necropolis for the ancient capital of Memphis nearby. But as we walk through this mortuary temple here at Sakkara, we'll see the ancient pillars as they are standing today, beautifully cut and precisely put in place. But this temple is nothing like the pyramids found here in this area of Sakkara. This pyramid is commonly called the Stepped Pyramid, and it was built in honor of King Dozier of the 3rd dynasty. The architect was Imhotep, who designed this pyramid. It dates to about 2700 BC, according to traditional Egyptian chronology. In this area, other pyramids have been found, of course not as impressive as the Step Pyramid. This is the Unas Pyramid, dedicated to the last king of the 5th century. But about 15 miles away from Sakkara are the Giza pyramids. These are the most impressive ones in Egypt. They stand nearly 500 feet high, at least several of these pyramids. And we'll walk closer to the Grand Pyramid. There are 3 prominent ones here, although there are a few other smaller ones in the area. This Great Pyramid of Giza, also known as the Pyramid of Khufu or the Pyramid of Cheops, is the oldest and largest of the 3 primary ones here in the Giza area. It is the oldest of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. It dates to about 2500 BC. Keep in mind that these pyramids here predate Abraham by about 600 or so years. The second one actually still has part of the covering still intact. But this Grand or Great Pyramid was built over the course of about 20 years. 2.1 million stones were used to build this pyramid. You can see how well preserved these original stones of the pyramid are today. The opening of this pyramid, you can just see the top of the archway. This would have been the entrance into this massive tomb. There it is again. To go inside is a remarkable experience. In fact, let's go inside this Great Pyramid. There was a king's chamber as well as a queen's chamber. It's a tight fit as we walk into this pyramid, climbing up and through these small openings. Here the ceiling is quite high, and yet as we head back and finish our walk inside this tomb in one of these chambers, the king's chambers, we can see how magnificently this was built over the course of 20 years, and again with over 2 million stones, 500 feet high. Now, yet another perspective of this Great Pyramid is from the corner, looking straight up. Again, this pyramid would have been covered, just like the second one is at the top, with a smooth facade. Back in the 1980s or so, when I was here for the first time, we were permitted to climb at least a portion of these pyramids. Of course, now for security reasons, that's not allowed. Now, driving away from the pyramids to a higher elevation is the only place where we can actually get a panoramic view of all 3, just because of the sheer size of the pyramids. One fun experience and encounter is to see the pyramids on a camel as we walk a little ways around these pyramids. It's a bumpy ride, and yet it's a fun adventure here in Giza. Our final perspective of the pyramids is from the Great Sphinx. And even though the Sphinx is 240 feet in length, and it stands over 65 feet in height, it really is quite small in comparison to the pyramids. So in this land of the ancient pyramids and the Nile River, Egypt is a fascinating place to visit. So these pyramids are quite impressive, aren't they? And I'm sure that the video really didn't capture and did justice to these pyramids. You know, when you stand at the base of these pyramids, you look up, you look around, you see how massive even one stone is. You know, one stone on average weighs about 3 or 4 tons. But there's 2.1 million stones that comprise of the Great Pyramid. Some say 2.2 or 2.3. I mean, really, who's counting? That's a lot of stones put together precisely over the course of 20 years with tens of thousands of people building this pyramid. And of course, it still stands today. And that was 2600 BC. So even before the time of Abraham, who was in Egypt, even well before, of course, Moses, much later. These pyramids at least are 1,000 years older than Moses. So put that into perspective, because, of course, Egypt is mentioned in the Bible, in the Old Testament. Slavery took place there. Of course, the Exodus led by Moses and Joshua. But it's impressive to see not only the Step Pyramid, the oldest one, but these 3 great pyramids of Giza. So that's the biblical connection. These were structures standing well before the time of these patriarchs. And, of course, Moses himself, who spent time there, who was born in Egypt, who became a vizier or prime minister, as the term is defined. And, of course, he was one instrumental in leading out his people from Egypt after the 10 plagues. They were most likely in an area north of these pyramids, by the way, in an area called Goshen. So I hope you enjoyed today's video, even though we sort of stepped out of Israel. And actually, we're going to do that in our next video as well. We're going to visit Mount Sinai. So if you want to hop on this next video that we're going to be posting shortly, we would certainly welcome you to watch it with us. So again, thanks so much, and shalom until next time.